Good. All right. If any of you needs, we all have our props, hey? Fabulous. Ah, what a lovely day. It's quite warm today, so let's, well, yin, we don't move a lot, but we can obviously choose to make things more strenuous or not. We'll see where we go, but we'll start with stillness. So you can come into a seat. You may use a prop, a block, a bolster to find some height. And the reason we use these props, which is already very much an awareness of where we're at in our bodies, is to make it relatively comfortable. So when I start my seat, normally I meditate in the morning, I tell myself, could I sit like this for like an hour? And if the answer is yes, then I'm probably kind of in the right position. I would probably have to, change my legs at some stage, but I don't feel like after 2 minutes, I'm going to cramp up or be uncomfortable. And often that means that we need to go a little bit higher, just to give our hips and our joints a bit of space. So settle into your seats, maybe move a little. And in the first breath, it is like blossoming flower into the body, filling your lungs up, finding length through the spine. And then just committing to sitting still. Slow breaths in through the nose. Slow breaths out. Out of the mouth or out of the nose. And notice how it feels to sit still. Depending on what you were doing before arriving on your mat, there might be a moment of transition where it feels a little uncomfortable to sit still if we've been quite busy. So be with that sensation or feeling a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. Use your breath to draw your mind into a singular action, just breathing. Moments of stillness are rare. Of conscious stillness, we sleep, but during the day, it's actually for me often my pets, my cats, that allow me to sit still because they're asking for attention. Otherwise, it's a lot of from the one thing to the other, a lot of doing. And yin is the being, the practicing and the embracing of being still. So our mind can also start to find a quieter place, a more clear place. And it is very possible that before that quiet, a little bit more calmer place in the mind actually reacts by being very busy. So if you observe that, it's okay. Let the thoughts come into the mind and then pass like clouds in the sky. Sometimes the same thought will return. The image, the memory, or maybe something related to the future. It's all good. Your breath draws you into the now. Every breath you feel is here and now. The online people were already speaking about the intention and how we're trying to hold on to the intention. If you haven't really set an intention for the year, you don't have to, but we can set an intention for this moment. What would we like this practice to give us? What is it that our bodies, our minds, our hearts, our spirits need? So when we step off our mats, we are close to ourselves, connected. And we can take choices on and off our mat that correspond with what we need. We learn to listen to our intuition, to the subtle messages of our body. Bring the hands in front of the heart. For me, my daily, it's called a prayer, but it's just more also an intention for me, is the Serenity Prayer, which is quite known. And I would love to share it with you. It's simple in words, not so simple in action, I think. It is, may I have the serenity to accept the things that I cannot control, and the courage to change the things I can control, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I'll try that every day and see where it brings me this year. You can set your personal intention or dedication and then bow your head towards your fingertips to seal that in. And then we'll start on our tummy. If you don't have a bolster like this one, you can also use a beach towel. Maybe next time you can take a beach towel with and roll it up or anything else. And any shape we do, we can also do it without. So our swings pose is a lovely gentle back bend. You can place the bolster. I sell them if you want to buy them for like next time or whatever. You can place that underneath you and your elbows or under your shoulders. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Relax the shoulders a little and then close your eyes. Now, if for some reason the lower back feels a bit tricky, then you roll the bolster a little bit more forward and the elbows go a little bit more forward. And then the lower back has more space. You feel the difference. Awesome. So our first couple of moments in our new shape of the body is to feel alignment, to feel into the body if the body is telling you like, yeah, this is okay. And then we come back to the breath and the stillness. I'll be your timekeeper. So many shapes in yoga, or also both in the vinyasa practice and in the yin practice, are to counter most of the movements we do during the day. And lots of our movements during the day are rounded forwards. So this is an opening into the collarbones, an opening into the heart. And breathe slowly in through the nose. And I'd say breathe out of the mouth because it gives a sense of a mini sigh or even a big sigh. And that sense of, okay, I'm sighing it out is a message to the central nervous system, to the body to go, yes, you can let go. It's okay. Let's just let go of any worries or thoughts that don't really serve. Soften the skin on your face. And the lovely thing about yoga, and also specifically yin yoga, because we stay still for longer periods of time, is that it's quite a sensory experience. You're allowed to feel your body. You're building a relationship with your body. You're spending time with your body. So maybe feel where there is tension, where there is space required, where there's maybe resistance, and where the breath travels, how the breath travels. In through the nose, through the throat, filling up the lungs. When you feel full, pause for a moment and feel the fullness, and then slowly, you can even exhale slower than you're inhaling. Just calm the central nervous system down. You feel how the air escapes through the throat, through the mouth. Got around 10 to 12 rounds of breath here. Opening up into the hip flexors as well. Slight stimulation of your kidneys, which is in the back, towards the lower part of your back. Interesting to listen to a storm while the sun is shining so hard. It is actually the music. But aha, there comes the gun. It's like, where is that coming from? 3 more rounds of breath. Take 1 more deep breath in. And then soften. You can lift your chest slightly, remove your bolster, and take a moment to create a pillow with your hands and just let your head rest. And here we'll practice belly breathing. So breathe into the nose to fill up all the way down towards your belly. And notice how the belly presses into the floor. Notice how the ribs of the rib cage expand on the inhale. And how they draw back to neutral on the exhale. You can bring your hands next to your rib cage. Come to a tabletop. We'll come in a lovely hip opener with the right leg to the front. It's called a 1990 online yogis. I just realized I'm wearing black pants on a black mat, so I hope you can see what I'm doing. Your right shin, your right leg is parallel to the front edge. Yes. So Jeremy, nice. So it's like a parallel positioning of your leg, and the back thigh is also parallel. Very, very good, nice. Now, if you were falling a little bit over towards the right side, that's where the scooping comes in. So you take the meat of the leg and you bring it a little bit under the sit bone, and then you feel your sit more upright. And then you can come all the way forward and down. Let's not force it, so you've got time. A block or a pillow under the head. So we're trying to achieve that nice alignment where the neck is in line with the rest of the spine-ish. And where the muscles of the neck and the shoulders can also relax. So your skull is actually quite a heavy part of the body. And those muscles, specifically in the neck and the shoulders, they tend to hold onto tension already when we're a bit stressed. Those muscles, your shoulders kind of creep up towards your ears. It's just a physical reaction. So let's again counter that. Relax your shoulders. Notice what you feel where. Soften the jaw and the skin on your face. Our yin practices can be quite meditative. Sometimes I'm surprised about certain thoughts that come up. And specifically, if it's a thought where I'm like, okay, that really doesn't make sense. Why are you there? I focus extra on my breath. We can also invite kind thoughts of gratitude, of love, thinking about people, things, animals that we like, things that we are grateful for, to kind of fill up our minds and hearts. Stay with your breath. And it's very possible that after a little while, you've got more space in the body. Yin practice stretches deeply into our deeper connective tissue, our fascia, which needs a little bit more time to find space and length compared to muscles and tendons. And you can alter your variation by bringing your block a little lower, or even moving it out and away, finding more length through the spine. And the edge for me is starting to be there. I'm starting to feel that right hip quite strongly because of the longer time that we've been here. And again, using the breath, maybe even for me, it works to start counting the breath. So I draw my mind kind of away. Well, I feel the sensations, but I don't let it be that dominance. That being said, you don't have to stay anywhere. If you feel that it is just sharp pain and it stops you from breathing and it just makes you unhappy, move out. Nobody is telling you to stay here. Take another deep breath in, fill up, and when you feel that you're full, pause for a moment. And then let the air escape nice and slow. And slowly bring your hands under your shoulders. Come all the way up. Slide the foot back and come onto your hands and your knees into a tabletop. Now, the soles of the feet have a lot of nerve endings. So it's very healthy to stretch it. If you're used to wearing high heels, yeah, most people don't like toe seat. We won't stay for 5 minutes, I promise. If you're wearing a lot of heels, it can also be quite challenging, but we have options, hey? It's not a competition. So I like to just spread the toes away from each other, knees down to the floor. And if it's really too hectic, just bring something in between the heel and the bum, a block, a pillow, a rolled up towel. Let me start the timer. We'll do eagle arms with it. Let's do a minute. That's doable. We'll right arm under the left. Let's do the same arm so we don't forget. And then notice that maybe that your shoulders have crept up towards your ears. So can you relax them down? Almost feel like a giraffe, lengthening, creating a super long neck. And maybe a slight tilt of your pelvis down. So the sit bones and the tailbone move down. So the lower back is long. We're not hanging in the vertebrae of the lower back. Sorry, guys, I know we're warm already, and this often creates even more heat in the body as a reaction. Did I put the time up? Yes. 15 more seconds. Breathe. Emma, I promise you that we won't do froggy. Okay, one more deep breath in. Hands to the floor, release your ego. And it's often when, exactly, when we move out, that you can either wiggle your toes or just clapper the feet. Hectic, eh? But often when we do that, it just means that the body really needs it, that there is tension there in the feet. It's like you're detoxifying the soles of the feet. The counter of this pose, for most of us is easier, not for all of us, is toes pointing and sitting right onto the heels. So find your position. And then we eagle the left arm under the right. Lovely. We don't have to interlace the hands. The back of the hands can also gently touch. The hands can also come to the shoulders. So we don't want to create extra tension in the body. So if you feel that, hooking the fingers makes you all cramped up in tense, then just let it go. Know what works for you, for your body in this moment. Breathe. Oh, that breeze is nice. Go. Consciously go towards sensations, away from the thinking left logical brain to our right creative sensory visual reality of hearing, smelling, seeing, tasting, feeling. That was easy. 2 more rounds of breath. Or for me, it was easy. Maybe not for everyone. And then release the arms. We do the same thing. Just clap at the feet or wheel your toes. And then we can come into a gentle plank pose. And bring your right leg over to the right side. Flex the foot if you've got space. Otherwise, you might just have to, specifically at home, change your waist. And then you slide the left foot backwards as well. But both feet, so the right foot is on the pinky side and the left foot is on the big toe side. Yeah. If you feel, we're going to try to turn our body facing the front. If you feel that you don't have enough space, bring the leg a little lower. Yeah. So it's like a 90-degree L shape. You might want to prop somewhere close before you go down. So this is a twist, and you can come again to the elbows, or you can create a pillow with your hands. Last little thing before you go down, there is an option. Let me actually do halfway, and then you can decide how you feel. To thread the needle. So let's just start symmetrical. Otherwise, you can bring your left arm through later and use your right hand, and then you look to the side. You can do that for the full session, or I'll let you know when we're halfway. I prefer to start like this. I find the pretzel quite hectic. Everybody's different, and often less is more. If by making certain choices, we actually create tension in the body, we are defeating the purpose of being here. We want every cell, every part of our being to try to relax. So any excess energy or excess trauma or excess anxiety that resides in the body can just flow through us. Can you notice, hopefully, how by already being still and stretching into the body, something has changed, a little bit of a transformative energy, calmer energy. We are halfway, so if you want to either stay or change and add your thread the needle, you can do that. You don't have to. And if you have been from the beginning in thread the needle and you're like, okay, that's enough now, you can also just come out. So this adds an extension of the twist into the upper back, into the neck. So just feel if that's all right for you. And it adds a little bit of a outer shoulder stretch on that left arm. Relax your toes and fingers. Stay with your breath. Maybe remind yourself of your intention for this practice. Are you taking the options that correspond with what serves you? Twists are also good for the digestion. Good for the spine, obviously, because we're twisting all those little vertebrae. Letting them be in a different position for a while, for small, subtle places of tension to hopefully relax a little bit more. Stay with your breath. And if you feel that it's difficult to breathe deeply, I would really suggest to just come out of the pretzel with the arms. Come to a place where you can fully breathe in and fully breathe out. If you are a counter, if you like to count your breath, I would say 5 breaths to fill up and 7 to breathe out. 1 more deep breath in. A little sigh out. And then unpretzel the upper body. Be gentle when you move out because you've been there for quite a bit. So your vertebra might be going like, oh, what was that? I'm not used to that. And then come all the way up to a seated position. I feel like a granny. Come all the way up to a seated position. Nice. Different options, different people. You will probably, don't want to move too much, probably need a block or something to sit up a little bit higher. And then I'm just going to show you I'll show you the full variation first. And if you're like, okay, no, that's not me, then we'll kind of wind it down. So it's a double pigeon. A double pigeon, you bring the right leg in front, I'll mirror you. And then it's quite important that the feet are flexed. If you are going to put your foot on the inside of the knee and there's pressure here, you can understand that might actually shoot through and it's not nice for the outer knee. So as soon as you flex the foot, these muscles are firm and more protected. So I like to align the outside, like the sole of my foot with the outside of the leg. So really on the outside. And then I'd lift my bum and scoop it a little backward. So it's foot. Like you could even put a belt around it and it would fit nicely. This is not for everyone. So if this is not you, you can choose to bring the foot on your calf or simply lift your left foot and place it in front. And yes, you can go higher. You can always go higher. So you can also try if it works like this. And then there's always more options. So many options because there's so many different ways of, being in the shape. For some people, this works. You flex the foot, and if the knee is really high up, you actually place something underneath it, and you can just rest. You get there. So if I were you there, I would place that foot not on the inside of the knee, but more on the outside, and the bottom one a little bit more forward. see, there you go. So I would take that. Oh, I'll come to you. And I'll come to you. I thought I threw it hard enough. Exactly. Well, that's fine. So this foot will go here. Nice. Stiff in the hippies. That's why we're here. And then here, now it can rest. So this leg can actually rest, and that makes the relaxation. Is that okay for you now? Try to flex that left foot a little. I know, and then it's even harder. Eh? That's okay. The hips and the shoulders, my friends. That's why we're here. Okay. Some of us have already been here for a while, but it will probably be the people that are open in the hips. So we will close our eyes. Halfway, we'll add a little bit of a side bend. Let me get my timer right. Close your eyes and sit nice and still. You might place your fingertips to the floor. Actually, let's add the side bend straight away. So it's left hand down. And then you can either just lean a little back to the side. You can feel that here. Or you can let the arm come over. And I like for my arm to rest on my head. Yeah. If that hurts your neck, just let the arm rest. Then you feel it more in the neck, probably. So stretching there on the right side, opening up. Oh, that is your right side. So the fact that we move a little over to the side, we just want to make sure both sit bones are still on the floor, so that this right sit bone hasn't lifted. Otherwise, again, just let the arm rest. Breathe towards the right armpit. Where do you feel this most? If I would give you a marker and you would have to like mark the spots, would you feel it more on the outside of the upper body, more into the hips? And then send your breath towards that space. This is probably the most intense. So if the body gets hot, that's actually okay. Breathe, calm down, whatever is going on. Now, personally, I find that my right hand is not comfortable, so I'm actually gonna let it fall behind me. That's much better. Every day is different. Just come back to your breath. Come back to your meditative state. I always find it challenging to explain why I meditate, why I sit still, because it's something you need to, I think, need to experience in order to understand. Kind of helps my mind to categorize is not the word, but it's like the subconscious and the conscious meet. And it's like a cleaning out of my brain. It's like things find a place in the right compartment, or I don't know how to use it, how to explain it. But it feels good. It gives me focus, clarity, and just time with myself. Soft breaths. And closing the eyes. It's like that inner world and the outer world. There's so much that goes on in the outer world, in our environment. The sharing of stories, the working with people, the spending time with friends and family. And then this is like, okay, I'm closing my eyes. The outer world will turn, will keep moving. I'm just pausing and taking some time to go inside to my thoughts and my feelings. All right, slowly lift your head so you can use your right hand ooh, la, 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 to come back up. I always love the facial expressions. And then lean back slightly and just bring your feet parallel. And then you can lean into your hands. Either sit still and feel that the right leg and the left leg feel a little different. Or if you feel like, okay, I need to shake, then you just shake the calves, shake the legs. It's both fine. We'll do the other side straight away, then we've done the worst. Okay, other leg comes in front. So your left leg is at the bottom. And you might be surprised, flex the foot, place it on the outside, nice pull. Emma has like 3 cats on her mat. Very cute. I'm surprised my cats haven't come and visit yet. You may bring it back. So again, bring that. Is it worse on that side? Okay, well then use the bolster, sit on something higher, because I think you did that. And if you need even higher, I can give you this as well to sit on. Maybe to use this, I'll sit on this. Don't force anything. Maybe sit on that one, it's a little higher. Or you put the pillow, the towel on top of the pillow. When in doubt, go a little higher. And then you've got the bolster to place it underneath. And the foot can also just go in front, because the right and the left are not the same. It's hard for you not to check little things when you see the thing. Close your eyes, don't. This is your space. All right, can imagine. It's like hairdressers, they can't look at people without looking at their hairs. Margarita helps manage the community center, so she's checking out all the things that need to be fixed. And like, close your eyes. It's funny. All right, outer world, bye-bye, inner world. There we go. And then we can add that side bend. So also here it is like the kidney sits a little higher, but stretching. So having that space. So often we can feel our skin stretch. It's like, yeah, I can feel something pull here. My skin is stretching, my muscles are stretching, probably fascia, okay, whatever that is, I can, I can also understand. But then go deeper, and underneath all of that are your organs. So they also get a nice little wake up stretch. In my mind, I really just like take the kidney and go like, hello, wake up. Take in some space, just in a different position for a little bit longer than it's used to. Nice, Paul. Awesome, Emma. I started with the arm up, but I already noticed in my neck. My neck is more sensitive on the one side compared to the other. And this is also my tighter hip for my body. So not only are we creating space, we're also getting to know our bodies. Injuries often are, it's not because we focalize on the point. Let's say you've got a little thing in your right knee. It's sometimes your left hip that is, for example, or your right hip that is not open or less open. It's all connected. So zooming into that part of the body might actually be, well, of course it's necessary and to do exercises, but to look at the body as a holistic being. It can be emotional, can be lifestyle, can be food related. Certain foods create more inflammation in the body. I love that approach. Stay with the breath. So that Stoic saying, it's actually the Serenity Prayer. To find the serenity, to accept what we can't control, have the courage to change what we can and know, and the wisdom. They say the only thing you can control is your mind. The rest you can't control. It's like, okay, really? It's a philosophy. I'm still getting my head around if I agree with that. But obviously, yes, our mind and how we see the world. So also spending time with our minds in meditation is necessary, is important. My mind since meditation, since yoga, is less competitive, less judgmental. I catch myself when I have thoughts. And of course, now and again, I'm like, interesting. Little dark secrets of the mind can be there. And when we start to be aware of certain things in the mind, we know that our actions don't have to match. That's the most powerful thing, I think. Ooh, we have a couple more rounds of breath here. What can you relax on the next exhale? Ooh, when we meet an edge, a little exhale, a little sigh is always welcome. 3 more rounds of breath. Nice, Jeremy. You may use your left hand, almost like you lifting the head. Walk the fingers back, lean back, help yourself maybe to come out. Straighten the legs in front of you, stillness or movement, whatever works for you. Even physically with your own hands, move the muscles. Okay, you can face the front of the mat. I'm just going to change so I've got space on this side. On hands and knees. And then we do that L shape with the left leg. Left leg to the side. Land on the outside of your left leg. Take your time. Now, often the mind wants to control where we go. We're like, okay, we've done this on the other side. We're going to find exactly the same shape. But it's not the mind, it's feeling. So when we sit here facing the front of our mat and we go like, too tight, body feels not so happy, just give yourself space. It really isn't necessary to force anything. Be kind to yourself. I will let you know when we're halfway. If you want to add on the pretzel, yeah, some of you had done it immediately. So you loop your right arm under and you use your left arm as a pillow. I'll do it halfway. Now close the eyes, soften the skin on your face. Breathe into the twist of the spine. Notice the ribs of the rib cage expand on the inhale. Notice when you full and how that builds a bit of pressure into the body. Stillness is key. Stillness is so important. Not very common in our culture. In the Eastern cultures, it's part of the daily routines, moments of stillness. After something has been energetically intense, whether it's an intense meeting or whether it's like traffic, they counter that energy with some stillness. Just to like ground again, rather than taking that energy into the next thing, into the next thing, into the next thing. 10 deep rounds of breath with your eyes closed. And I remember, or that's what I sometimes think, like if I can't do that, well, I'm working at home now and I've got a different job. But before, when I was still in corporate, I'm now like, oh, sometimes I probably should just have gone to the toilet, because you feel a little bit like embarrassed to maybe do that behind your desk. Just have a little break on the toilet, have a little meditation on the toilet. Loop the arm if you want to add that. If you did that on the other side and you feel that it's appropriate to do that here as well. Settle in and then find stillness. Let time do its healing. Every breath is an invitation for space. Every inhale is an invitation for a reset, for refresh, for calmness. Every exhale is a sense of letting go, of surrendering. Sometimes our limbs fall asleep a little bit, and that's okay. You can move out, or just if you're able to stay with the sensations, just stay a little. It's a restriction of blood. Don't let your limbs die underneath you, but feeling that tingling in the fingers and toes is common. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And gently move up, gently, gently, slowly, as if you're moving through honey. Come back onto your hands and your knees without too much effort. A quick child's pose to just feel the symmetry. Let the head rest, let the shoulders relax. Come to a tabletop, and we'll do our 1990, our deer pose, with the left leg in front. Left leg, shin, short at the edge of the mat, and your thigh are parallel. So turn just a little bit, Jeremy. So your shin is actually parallel to the front. Now your shin is parallel to the long edge of the mat. So you turn, 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 turn. More, 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 more. Yes. And then you can even move that back knee a little bit away. Let's scoop some meat underneath. some meat, sounds horrible. Some flesh, better. Some flesh underneath the sit bone. And then you can find the depth that works for you. Nice. On the elbows. Maybe using a prop underneath your face, underneath your head too, so your neck and your shoulders can relax. Wiggle your toes for a moment and then let them be soft and relaxed as well. Soften the jaw, a little bit of space between the top and the bottom lip. Swallow a couple of times and then let the mouth and the skin of your cheeks relax. The eyeballs are heavy. Last 10 rounds, around 10 rounds of breath, obviously depending on how fast, or actually let's rather say how slow you're breathing. Might be 1 or 2 or 3 extra or less. Notice the sensations. Wherever it is most intense for you, breathe towards that space and just tell that part of the body, tell those cells to relax. It's okay. You can always move out. And then gently lift yourself up and away from the floor. Move out. That one is tense for my left hip. And then we come to our Shavasana shape, our ultimate resting shape. Come onto your back, let the feet find the corners of the mat. Take a moment. If you've got something to cover your eyes with, your eye pillow or maybe your towel or your jersey, it's quite nice to create some darkness. No need to change or think of your breath, just to be still. Take a deep breath into the nose. Notice how the air travels into the body. Let your chest rise, let your belly rise. Once you feel, sip a little bit more air in, and then let it escape out of the mouth. Stay with your breath and start to feel into the body with small movements of the fingers and the toes. And also while you do that, just notice how you feel. What is the energy on your mat? Hopefully in your space, in your room, there's a serenity, a calmness, which also corresponds, it almost matches with how you're feeling. And we activate the body a little bit more, like as if we're waking up. Oh, wish I could wake up like this every morning, like slowly, slowly. It's not always the case. And then hug your knees into chest, feel into the hip socket, the right side, the left side. A little wiggle. And then you can come and roll onto your side. Use the bottom arm as a pillow. With as little effort as possible, sideways, you come back up into a seated position. You can brush your legs or come into your legs. Let's close the practice with the hands in front of the heart. Reflecting back to our intention and how we can maybe weave that intention into our day-to-day life. Or otherwise just with an attitude of gratitude for our health, for the time and the privilege that we have to be here on our mats, to work on our physical and mental well-being. Thank you for being here. Namaste. Take your time. Stay in that slow, gentle energy.